on Facebook Live. Welcome here. It's 6 p.m. here in London, wherever you're watching us from, or if you are listening to us with this live for the podcast True Entrepreneur Stories. And we are very excited today because we are running the second 2020 episode of True Entrepreneur Stories podcast, where we have a very special guest with us today. You might have seen our post earlier during the week. We have with us today the amazing Marsha J. Carrington. She's a choreographer, creative director, and business owner of Pinnacle Performing Arts. That's it. Pinnacle Performing Arts. Did I say this right, Marsha? Let's bring you up.
Hi, people. Hi.
Hello, Marsha.
Hello. Hi.
Hello, Marsha. So, welcome, Marsha. You are our second guest of the year 2020 on True Entrepreneur Stories podcast. So, a very warm welcome to you, Marsha.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we are really blessed to have you with us today because you have such an amazing story. We've met you face to face and we discovered your amazing story. And we simply just had to share your story. So thank you very much for joining us today, Marsha.
You're welcome.
So we prepared a couple of questions for our viewers watching us live on Facebook or listening to the podcast. And I think the first question would be about your story. It would be the why of what you do today and how you got into what you do today, Marsha. So if you want to tell us what you do and how you got doing what you do.
Okay, so I started dance classes at the age of 4 at a dance school called Cheryl Honor School of Dance, and that's basically where my story began. Through going to that dance school, I was handpicked to be one of the first mini pops at age 8, so that was my first professional job on the Channel 4 series. Previous to that, I also was a catalogue model for Mothercare. And then I went through all my exams at dancing and I exceeded and I done really well with my dance. And from there, I then went on to, cutting the story short, I then went on to another dance school, which is Hillingdon Theatre Dance, because I kind of outgrew my initial dance school. And from there, I progressed. And then I went to Sylvia Young Theatre School. Believe it or not, to many of my friends, I was actually very shy growing up. So I had the talent, but being on stage, I was performing like marvelous, but my face was just like, I was so shy and so nervous. So that's something I had to overcome. But I went on to Sylvia Young's, and that's when I kind of realized, as much as I had the talent there, I got a lot of work through being at Sylvia Young's. I mean, I was one of the first members of Porgy and Bess at Glyndebourne. I'd done a lot of work for EastEnders and movies and dance shows and everything.
Programs, like those listening to us.
Okay, so growing up, from what I remember, I'd done quite a few commercials. I only remember really like doing Coca-Cola from the top of my head. I done a lot of appearances on EastEnders. And then I went on later on in life actually to do EastEnders commercials. I've done a couple of EastEnders commercials. I'm trying to think, my mind always goes so blank. As I said, I've done...
I've got your full CV here.
Oh, would you like to read it all out?
It's quite impressive, Marsha.
I know. Do you want to read out some of the things? Because when people ask me, your mind literally goes blank.
Do you know, Marsha? I spotted quite a few things. It's also mentioned mini pops. Tell us about the mini pops experience. What it was all about, how old you were, and how you got involved in it.
Well, it was fun. It's a fun experience. We had the directors and producers of Channel 4 come down to my first dance school. And we basically, I can't remember, vaguely remember, I think they just watched us dance. And then they kind of handpicked who they thought had the talent. So myself and my brother were, a few of the people that got picked. And
how old were you back then?
I would have been about age 8. Yes. And then we would go in to do rehearsals. I mean, remember, I was only age 8, so I don't know where we were, but we'd go and do rehearsals, we'd go to recording studios to record albums. And then before you knew it, we were just at this set performing what we had learnt. So basically, it's kind of like what they do today with Kids Bop, where you have children taking off pop stars. So I was always one of the 3 Degrees from Diana Ross. And then I had a few solo numbers. So it was whatever was in the charts back then, we would interpret it as children. So we'd dress up like little adults and we'd perform every, I think the programme came on every Wednesday or Thursday on Channel 4 around 6 o'clock, 6 or 8.
So how much do you have to rehearse for that?
I remember it wasn't long. The rehearsals were not long. I remember doing a lot of things on set as well. So, because obviously they had to turn out these shows every single week. So I remember them not being that long. And I think what it was, they picked a lot of the talented children. So a lot of the time we were able to also freestyle as well.
Right.
So, I guess it cut down a lot of, it's not like how it was, like how it is today. So, but I was very young, so I could vaguely remember. But with that, we done Christmas albums. There was a lot of appearances on, I think it's called Good Morning Britain at that time, and lots of different appearances on different morning shows and stuff. So, yeah, that was fun.
That's amazing. That's what you see in some movies, how children get involved in that in the showbiz. Who had the idea initially? Was it from your parents, or was it something you really wanted to do from always when you were a child?
Well, I started at age 4, so I think I was told that I was always dancing around the living room and my legs were always up in the air and I was always kicking and just prancing around the living room. So then my mum decided that she'll take me to dancing, and that was like one of the best things ever. So yeah, I always remember one of my first things that I learnt was a song called Miss Polly Had a Dolly. I think they sing it in nurseries today, and there was movements to it, and I just loved doing it. And I also I remember at school, everyone must know the song Kumbaya. And I remember I'd sit there and I'd sing and I'd be making up all these different moves to go with the words. And so I guess it's just always in me to just perform. So
it must have changed your childhood.
Sorry, say that again.
It must have changed your childhood. All your friends, you were the famous friend they had. How did you live your childhood?
I didn't really see it as that, really. At home it's very down to earth. Like, we weren't treated as, child stars. It just felt normal because it's all what I knew. So, I didn't see myself as, I'm the famous one, and it just wasn't like that. It just, I had a great childhood. So, I didn't see it as, I didn't separate myself from any other children or anyone else. So,
and you mentioned your brother?
Yeah, my brother.
So did he join in as well?
He did. He was. He also went to Sylvia Young's. He was quite popular at Sylvia Young's. Many stories. He also joined the Mini Pops. He's just got a natural talent for acting, for music producing, anything creative. I come from quite a creative family. My mum and dad are not creative in the arts, but all my siblings were all creative, whether it's art, dance, music. And he actually played Junior in EastEnders. So he was in EastEnders, the main character, for quite a long time. And he also done many commercials. But once again, when he came home, we were just home with our friends. It wasn't like, well, you're the child star and you're the. It was just living in that down to earth home. So you still had to do the chores, still had to tidy your room and empty the bins, and up on a Sunday and help clean the house. So
normal childhood.
Sorry?
A normal childhood.
Very normal. Yeah.
Very good. And just to clarify for our viewers watching us live on Facebook and listening to the podcast, whereabouts you're based in London,
Yeah.
and your school, Pinnacle Performing Arts, I said it right this time,
Yeah.
is also based in West London, isn't it?
I opened a dance school, Pinnacle Performing Arts, in 2006. And it was something that people used to say to me, open a school. But I was in my 20s. I was like, I haven't got time for that. That's too much, I want to plan the next rave. I want to, just perform, which I was performing. I was a professional dancer. And I decided one day, I woke up, I was like, right, I'm going to start this school. So I was working at a school at the time that was called West London Academy as head of performing arts. And then I decided to go part-time there. And while I was working part-time, I started planning and working on this school, Pinnacle Performing Arts. We had a few nosy people that would be like, what are you doing now? But don't worry about it. Because I knew that I just wanted to get it all together before it was revealed to the world. So anyway, I started in 2006, opened the doors, and it was a slow start, and then it just started to build and grow. And before you knew it, I had a school going.
And I think you have now 100 students, isn't it? Approximately.
Yeah, it would be over 100 students, because what happened is I had the school open for 7 years. We ended on a massive show of 500 people. We had guest people that came down. So we had Natasha Bernard, who's a creative director who does mass movement from many commercials you see on TV. We had Jade Ewan, who's just come off the West End stage of playing Jasmine in Aladdin. We had a gentleman called Tomo, who's done a lot of work in the community. So we ended up on a high. And I then merged. Well, I came out of the dance school, and that's when I thought I'd solely concentrate on the agency, because the time of having the school, I had a lot of casting directors coming in and scouting the children.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I decided that I'll close the school and I will come to you rather than you come to me, because it was growing and it was so hard to find the spaces. So I thought, I'll come to you. You don't need to come to me. And I will concentrate also on the agency side of things, where I can also, offer work to talented teachers and
I think correctly, you have a large events coming up. Is it not fit for life, or what is it, Marsha?
Change for life.
Change for life.
Yeah.
In collaboration with the NHS as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of Public Health England, NHS. I work in association with them, and they've now got a new initiative which is working in partnership with Disney Pixar. So they're obviously, it's NHS, and whole Every Mind Matters. So you can run workshops and go into schools and, you know, help children with well-being. But obviously, things that they're familiar with helps a lot. So who doesn't like Disney Pixar? I mean, I love Disney Pixar. So yeah, so it's going into schools, running these workshops, and you know, getting the kids moving and interactive with what we're doing and what we're trying to show them. So yeah,
quite an amazing there, Marsha. Well done.
thank you.
So let me go back to the questions that we had, because I'm sure our viewers and listeners are also interested finding out. So if you want to share with us one of your favorite quotes. I know you mentioned you've got one on the side that you're keeping on the side for now, but something that has maybe helped you throughout your whole your experiences, something that kept coming to mind.
Oh, so that's hard, because I did think about it. You did ask me, and I did think about it, but I can't I can't say. But basically, just sticking to your true, authentic self. That's what I would say. And I know some people say watch your competition, but I'm very much like stay in your lane. You don't need to be watching what everyone else is doing, because that's when your mind starts going, and then you can't, you know, then more than likely you'll fall off your path. I've always been very much like, you can, you know, watch what others are doing to be inspired, but not to be like, oh, they're doing this and they're doing that, and I haven't got this and I haven't got that. So I would say just stay in your lane and stay focused on what you're doing, because everyone, you know, there's enough for everybody.
I agree 100%, Marsha. Very true, very true. A very good one. Well done. Then I have another question here. What do you like the most about what you do?
At the moment, I love putting talented teachers and performers into work. I didn't think it's something that I'd love to do, but I absolutely love booking them. Like, as soon as I get the booking, I'm like, yes, I'm so excited to tell them that they've been booked for a job. Because as we know, in the arts world, it's very hard and work is not always consistent. So I love it when I can also book them into consistent work. And I also love when, say, like going into schools, I love it when you have people in the school that see what you're doing and they want to help you execute it and they want you to come into the school. So I love the fact that I get the chance to do that. And I love the fact that the children enjoy what I have to offer, because I love to offer structured learning, fun learning with an outcome at the end. So as you can probably hear my voice, I'm like, yay. I love it. I love when people like see the vision and they're for it and just putting people into work. So yeah.
Very good. What do you do to stay motivated on daily basis or through hard times, maybe, Marsha? Because let's face it, running your own business has ups and downs, as we all know. So what helps you stay motivated?
Right. The first thing for me is to be super organized, which people that know me well know that that's how I am. So being organized and, you know, setting your blueprints and, you know, whatever it is you're doing, make sure that you're organized. And also to stay motivated. I'm one of those people that I've always got ideas. Like, ideas are constantly like coming at me. They come at me around 5 a.m. in the morning. I don't know why, but they do. I wish that it was like later on, but for some reason I'll wake up and I'll have these ideas. So to me, I say the universe keeps me motivated. So I've always got a notebook by my bed, and I'll always, in order for me to get back to sleep, because I get so excited and I just want to get started on whatever it is that's come to me, I will write write it down, then that enables me to get back to sleep. So I'd say the universe keeps me motivated.
Do you know what? I think we're very much alike. I do get those span of downloads. I call them downloads.
Yeah.
And same. I have to write everything down. I think we're very similar in that way. And I know you, Marsha. You like your spreadsheets. When you when you mention organize. So well done. Next question I have here is, what piece of advice would you give to a startup community? So entertainer, artists starting out there, because you are way ahead and you have so much experience. What single piece of advice would you give them you wish you had been told?
I would say once again is to not focus on others, focus on yourself, stay in training, keep up to date with what's happening out there, find like-minded people that share your passions and goals as well. And if something's not working, I would say, try a few different avenues. Don't keep pushing at it if it's not working. You need to try different avenues of doing things, and also remember that everything is not for everyone. So that's the advice that I would give. But definitely stay focused. I think it's harder now, because when I first started out, there wasn't showing the age now, there wasn't Facebook, there wasn't Instagram, you had 5 channels. I was telling the children the other day, you had 5 channels, you had to make sure you were home at 6 o'clock to pick up the phone. So it's harder now because everyone's looking at everyone and what everyone else has got, and it's hard to stay focused. So my big tip is, don't look at anyone else, look at yourself. There's enough for everybody.
I agree. Being laser focused is so important when you run your business. I agree with you on that. Absolutely, Marsha. Thanks for that. The other question I have is, that we mentioned. Let's share some business tips, Marsha. So we mentioned being focused, having structure, and not looking so much at others, being authentic. What else would you like to share? What are the tips?
One tip that I always give is, do not do things just for the money. I've never, even like when I started my school, I'd done it for the love of performing arts and just wanted to give back, because I was fortunate enough to go to Sylvia Young and Brian Rogers Performers College, and there's a lot of children out there that can't afford that. So my big thing is, don't do things just for the money. Do it for the love, and the money will follow. 100%. Because I hear too much like, oh, if I do this job, it'll bring in this money, and if I do that, I can make 10 grand in 2 weeks. And like, it's not going to work. You may make that, but it's not going to last, and that money will be gone, and then you got to start from scratch, and it's just a cycle. So do things, find something that you really, really love, and then the money will follow if you've got the passion and the drive.
So having a strong foundation, building slowly, and having a long-term vision, isn't it, Marsha?
Yeah.
I completely agree with that as well. Especially nowadays, I guess people are looking for everything very quick, because the environment where we live has changed. Everything is fast, and people need to understand it does take time to build something that lasts, or something of value, right? So yes, I completely agree. Would you like to share one last tip? That's our last question.
Oh gosh.
Probably balancing your professional life and your private life. That's something that comes up very often in the questions.
Yes, I would agree. I was that person, especially when I started Pinnacle. I was obsessed. I would literally be working from morning, and I'd hear the birds chirping the following morning. Like I was constantly just on the laptop and constantly. I mean, because it was exciting and it was new, and then it got to a point where I was like, this is just too much. You need to have a switch off time. Like I know people say chase your dreams, go for it and work, but you need to have that balance as well. So then I got to a point way down the line when I was like, okay, I'm having a switch off. My phone goes off at 6 o'clock and then I need to have a life. Weekends, the phone needs to be off because I need to have a life. At times it needs to be on because you need to work on something. You need to get things, done or completed or whatever. But my biggest thing is to definitely have a switch off time. Otherwise you'll just keep going and going and going and you're just gonna, break yourself down and it's just not healthy.
Absolutely. I think self-care, isn't it?
Yeah.
Self-care, allowing, like you say, switch off time. Absolutely. We just had Grace joining online as well.
Hello, Grace.
And I think we're moving on now to the last few minutes of our interview. Okay. Time flies when we have fun.
It does. Wow. Just looking at the time. Yeah.
Let me bring this up if I can. So the last points that I wanted to ask you is, do you have any special offers going on at the moment? And how can people get in touch, our viewers and our listeners, get in touch with you, Marsha?
Okay, I do, because I'm feeling a bit generous today. I had one special offer that I told you about, but I've added some. I've got some notes here actually. So with schools, if you're a new school, for the summer term, we're offering clubs and classes for £5.50 per child for the first term. And every club that is booked, the staff members, the teachers, get a free group fitness session. So that's the first offer that we're running. And then also on the wedding side, because Pinnacle's all about performing arts, anything performing arts, whether it's working in schools, whether it's wedding choreography, parties or events. So on our wedding choreography side, we have 4 giveaways that I've extended to the 31st of March. So the first 4 people to email us will get some free wedding choreography lessons.
That's amazing.
I know. So lucky them. On the business and corporate side of things, I'm offering de-stress, stretch and tone, because we all know working in businesses can be stressful and sitting at your desk all day. So all you managers out there can book one of our instructors to come in to run a stretch and tone. Or if you want to amp it all up, you can do dance fitness or any type of fitness that you'd like to do. And lastly, for children's parties and events, we are offering them at half price up until the end of the month. Yes, so you can have a dance party host that can get your party started, whether you want a neon party, it's a birthday party, a hen do. You ladies want to be empowered and do like a sexy heels class, you can do that. So yeah, those are all the offers. They are all on the website, or you can email us at info@ppa06.co.uk, or just click on the website, which is www.pinnacleperformingarts.co.uk.
Fabulous. So many amazing offers, Marsha.
I know, I'm being generous.
Well, thank you so much for coming on to our podcast. For our viewers who have been watching live today here on Facebook, thank you very much for watching us. You can also listen to the replay on our podcast, True Entrepreneur Stories. And we are so blessed, Marsha, to have had you on and sharing your amazing story. There's so much more. So much more we could talk about, because I mean, there is so much more. We've only scratched the surface. But I think we need to share your offers. I'll share those on my page. Just send them over and I'll share those with our
I will do.
viewers.
I will do. Thank you for having me.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Marsha.
Right.
And keep the amazing work going. Keep inspiring the young ones and spreading the art as you are. You're doing an amazing job, Marsha.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.